Hi, Danger.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Gene's Outta Pocket. My name is Jack Schrock. I'm the host here with my co-host.
Ian Broussard, welcome. Not back because this is our first time.
Stop correcting me. So this is the first episode. A little scary, I guess. I don't know. Have you ever thought about doing a podcast before?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff.
Dude,
Jack.
Man, this is awesome. But yeah, we're here to talk about the burger confusion story. And it all started... Oh, okay. To preface this, we live in a dorm at a college.
And these are our friends.
These are our friends. All of these people, almost all of them, were there for the story, so they're just here for moral support. Shits and giggles, baby. So, a lot of things happened this night. Ask questions whenever, I guess.
What was the date?
This was on November 6th. This was the night of November 6th. So, for context of this night, we have, cool RAs, people that, kind of like the night watch of the hallways and stuff like that. But we're pretty rambunctious, like we've always got, hella people in this room, like you can see, and there's always people over in the other room and stuff like that. So we're always super rowdy. There's quiet hours. We're always getting noise complaints and stuff like that. Anyway, we've been building up a reputation here on floor 2. So we had, like an anonymous floor meeting, I guess, for our dorm hall. And literally everything was targeted at us. But who cares? We're going to keep doing what we're going to keep doing, and everybody else will. So let's kick it off. So it started in here. I was with you, and I was with Colin. And it had been a while since I had breathed in a good amount of air. And I was like, okay, hell yeah, let's breathe in a lot, right? So I did. And I got really stupid. And I got really stupid. So I was already saying stupid stuff, but this was right before the floor meeting because I was like, oh my God, I don't want to go to this floor meeting, right? Because it was going to be like an hour long. It was the second day. There's 2 days available for it, and everybody else had already been to the first day. So I was like, okay, let's get some oxygen in my lungs. So I go to this floor meeting with Colin, and he does the same thing as me, so we're already tweaking. And we walk up from the longest route possible because we weren't thinking. And we walk up to the back of the crowd. We stand there, and we're like...
Wait, were you guys on this side of the field?
Yeah,
on
so...
the far side?
Yeah, if you were to go north and south of the turf field.
This is south. That's north?
No, that's south.
Okay.
This is north.
Okay.
The meeting was on the northern side, but we went from Seacrest all the way around to like the side, I don't know, east like entrance instead of just going around like we usually do. And we walked all the way to the back, stared at everybody because we were late, and then we saw a couple of these people, and they're like, "Oh my God, hi!" And so we were like, "Hey," and we walked up, and we were gonna go sit with them, but for whatever reason, we both had the same like awkward sense, and we walked up right behind them, and then just stood there. We just stood there for like, I don't know, a minute and just kind of like giggled with each other. And we're like, why are we standing? So we sat down eventually, not with them, even though we were right behind them. For some reason, we didn't sit with them. And basically the whole meeting, like I said, I was just on one. So I felt like the RAs were just staring at me the whole time. Our RA wasn't there, thankfully. But I felt like I was just like on another plane. I was laughing at everything, and I was convinced that I peed my pants, and I kept looking down. I think it's because I drank water before and I maybe spilled or something like that, or it's just the shadows or something like that, or like, when like you rub felt one way and it like looks like you can make a pattern, or like draw on like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I thought you peed your pants because it looked like you peed your pants.
Yeah, so anyways, I peed my pants. No. So I was convinced I peed my pants, so I got really insecure halfway through, and I we were sitting on the very right of the crowd, so I like lifted up my left leg and straightened out my right like that, so people couldn't see my like inner thigh area, because I was like, oh my God, is that pee? but I was stupid. It was shadows, I'm pretty sure, because there was nothing there. Anyways, I was just giggling the whole time. And then eventually we finished and we're like, okay, let's go get food after talking to the RAs and stuff like that. And that was with me and Colin, who isn't here, Allie, Winston, and Brooke. It was with that squad, us five. Okay, so keep in mind, a lot of oxygen. That's just what kicked off the night. So we're walking to Burger Confusion, we're walking to, where were we gonna go to Chick-fil-A or something like that first? Yeah, we were gonna go to Chick-fil-A. It was like closed because they like was it because they ran out of food or something like that?
No, they were just really busy.
Okay.
And
yeah.
They were going to Burger Confusion.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We were like, oh, it's too long.
Okay, the line was super long. Me and Brooke hopped in the line, and then we saw everybody else going to Burger Confusion, which is a next door restaurant. And we just like, okay, you know what? Who cares? Let's just go get burgers. So we went in line, and as we're walking there, a Chick-fil-A worker walks by me, and he compliments my outfit, and he's like very, trying to enforce the fact that he likes my outfit, right? And I'm like, dude, thank you. Like, thank you so much. Like, it just lit me up. Like, after that happened, I was ecstatic. I was just going, like, looking around at people with, like, literally, like, I was like the Joker or something like that. I was just so on cloud 9. And I was like, oh my God, guys, that guy just complimented my outfit. That was insane. And I don't know. I was just on a high from that. So yeah, we eventually, we ordered, we sat down, we all got our food. I remember Winston got his last.
Fucked it up.
It was just a burger, man. And like, I don't remember when it was. I'm not sure entirely when the time frame was, but that guy came back to where we were sitting, like away from Chick-fil-A.
Wait, was it that short Mexican guy?
Yeah, I think so.
I know that guy.
You know that guy? What does that mean?
He flirts with you.
Have you seen that before and I haven't?
He flirted with me.
Oh, okay.
It was really weird.
Yeah, okay, that's where I'm getting.
Okay.
Because he comes back up and he's like, dude, I just love your outfit, man. And I'm like, wait, what? Is this guy like about to ask for my Snapchat? Like, I don't know this guy. And he's like, he's like saying all this stuff, still complimenting me. I'm like, dude, thank you. Like, that's so cool, man. Like, such a blessing. And eventually he's like, one recommendation. And I'm like, what? Are you recommending style choices? I mean, it seemed genuine. He was like, one thing you can invest in is like, some fake pairs of glasses. And I was like, funny enough, because I literally have 12 pairs of glasses sitting on my shelf right now. And I just happened to not wear them that night. But like, dude, it was like I feel like it was a fairly regular outfit. Like, I just wore like, pants, little button on the top, and a bomber. Like, that was really it. It wasn't anything too special, but maybe you had a crush on me. So yeah, after that, I was kind of like, I think both of us could tell like, what the hell is this conversation? This needs to end. So eventually he left. And so we're just chilling, we're eating, everything is just fine. And then we just hear like
A thud.
huge fucking crash. And everybody in the like area, like it's the seating area for like 3 restaurants. So there's like hella people, right? And there's this huge crash. So everybody's startled and everybody's looking over to their left, and holy shit, like it freaked everybody out. I flinched way bad. So I look over to my left, everybody else is looking. So I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. I did not just hear that. And it, like, when it happened in my head, I was like, was that a fucking gunshot? Are we gonna die right now? Because
That's what I thought too.
I was not in the fucking mindset. So I was like, holy shit, what is happening?
The shadow people.
Yeah.
Through the walls.
And everybody's like, oh, there's like, general just like murmurs through the crowd, and eventually I'm like, was that a gunshot? And everybody's like, no. So I'm like, holy fuck, like sigh of relief, right? And we realize, we go back to eating, but we realize there's just some guy that happened to drop his skateboard at like perfectly, like it landed on its side. The whole deck and the 2 wheels landed like perfectly at the same time. So all 3 of the sounds just like cracked like it was lightning. It was insane. So it was super loud. So that just kind of like kicked off the whole Burger Confusion thing, because the name precedes itself. That place just fucks you up once you start eating. So after a while, we go back to eating. We're chilling. So about 10 minutes later, Colin goes up and he starts to look for ketchup. I don't know why it took him 10 minutes. But he was like, okay, I'm going to go get ketchup. And then we're just chilling. You know, everybody's fairly quiet in the crowd. And then all I hear is, hey, she just passed out. And I look over to my right. I'm like, what? And Colin's looking over at us and he's like, thumb-eyed, like, hey, this girl just passed out. And then you can hear, oh my God, she's like out cold or something like that from some random person in the crowd. And so I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck just happened? I'm already like on another plane tweaking. People are like freaking out. You know, people are starting to crowd this girl. She was like, oh my God, we're gonna cut that. So the place that we were eating at was like an elevated area, and the place where you order food was like, you know, a few steps down. So I couldn't see her over this ledge. But all I knew is that somebody had passed out, right? And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, dude, I'm a lifeguard. I should be there. But I'm like, I am not in the mental state to freaking do that because I'm just so stupid. And I was like freaking out about that at the table. I was like, you guys, I know CPR. I'm a trained lifeguard. I should be there, but I can't. And everybody was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what? So, yeah, people, I'm freaking out. Nobody else really is. So I remember that, like, oh, I can't do that. So that's why I'm like, okay, I can't go help. So eventually, the scene dies down. She's okay, this person that passed out. I see her, like, you know, hurriedly, like, walking away. You know, very flushed, as anybody would be if they just fucking passed out and caused a scene. So I'm like, what the fuck? And then a different group of friends walks by once she leaves the scene. Gibby and her friends walked by.
Dude, was she the one who passed out?
No, it was one of the workers. It might have been a Chick-fil-A worker, but I don't recognize her.
She's a student. She's a TA for our art class.
She's a TA for your art class?
That's why Ali and I were freaked out. No, I was really freaked out when that all happened.
Yeah.
Like, you can ask Colin. I was freaked out.
That's why I was on edge, because I could tell. I saw you, and you were like freaked the fuck out. I was like,
yeah.
oh my God, something's got to be wrong.
Sorry.
Who's the TA?
The girl that passed out.
Oh.
Her name's like.
Wait, not saying names.
Okay, no.
Her name is
I was
no.
gonna say the wrong name anyways.
Oh, okay.
Patricia.
Yeah.
Patricia.
It actually.
She passed out. It's just the girl that passed out, man. So yeah, she's fled the scene. Somebody else goes after her, probably to comfort her. So yeah, Gibby's walking by with her friends.
She flipped you off.
And so we're just chilling. They go by, and I hear, "Hey, Jack," and I'm like, "What?" So I look up and I just see, like Gibby's flipping me off. So I'm like, okay, that's funny, right? And so I'm like, like double hand, no thumbs up, like flipping her off because I think it's funny. And so yeah, after where we stop, I sit down and then I look over at Allie. And I'm like,
Are we outside at this point?
no. We still got some time inside. So we're still inside, we're eating, right? And I look over at Allie, I'm like, is she okay? Because you looked anxious. And I was like, what is going on? To preface this motherfucker is a trickster. She, like, literally a magic act. I bought these little toy Cad Bane guns from Star Wars. And we've just been like playing like around with them, and she constantly steals them and pulls them out whenever I think she doesn't have them, and it freaks me out, and she knows it. She knows it. No, stop! I'm not even gonna look at you. So she's like looking anxious, right? And so I'm like, okay, not a big deal. Brooke is here to take care if something happens, right? She knows her better. This isn't my field, you know. And so then I start panicking a little bit because she's anxious as well. Like Brooke is anxious too. So I'm like, what do I do? And so I'm, on edge, and that kind of leads us all to get a little tense. And Winston's just like you're fine. Like you're fine.
No, I think that's when we all like realized that this night was
Weird.
one night. Just,
Yeah.
crazy.
It was like
It was
the
insane.
night. Like once it all clicked with us that this was the weird night, we started to get a little weird. Like we started to feel burger confusion.
Oh yeah, like one thing that I remember, like.
Wait, hold on, don't fast forward in the story.
I just remember, like Allie just saying like, guys, I think we should go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what-
I forgot I started to say.
She forbore.
Like she was saying it. Oh yeah, but we remember. So.
Yeah, so the reason Winston's like, you're fine, Allie, because Allie's, starting to like, be like, hey, we need to go, you guys. Like, we got to get out of here. And she says it more casually in the beginning. Winston's like, you're fine. And she's like, no, seriously, I think we need to leave. And it's a little bit of back and forth between Winston and Allie. And me and Colin are just kind of staring at each other like, what just happened? And eventually, Allie is all just like, no, we need to leave. Like, was serious about it. And Winston was still going, you're fine. And that's when I was like, okay, yeah, we need to leave. Let's go. While this is happening, I noticed that the girl that passed out sat nearby us and was getting talked through. But I think it was a worker. I think that's why I got that confused.
Yeah.
Okay, she was being talked to by a worker. She was okay. So that's good news. So eventually, everybody's kind of like freaking out. And I'm like, okay, like, why would we stay? We're all finished with our food. Let's just leave. So we just head out, right? Everybody's on edge because I'm like, I'm worried about these people, but I just am not in the headspace to be taking care of people, and I don't know what to do. So everybody gets up, and as that's happening, you just hear another bang from our table. I'm like, what the fuck happened this time? And Allie's like wide-eyed, like, I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Were you inhaling oxygen as well?
No.
Me and Colin were the only people. We were the only people with oxygen in our lungs.
I don't remember this.
I wrote it all down. I wrote it all down for a reason. So everybody's getting up, and I'm like, what the fuck was that bang? Why is she like so wide-eyed? I'm like, how could this happen? And she's like, I just banged my ankle so hard, I don't think I can walk. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, that's not real. But I just like disregarded it, just, gave her the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, what if something's actually wrong? I'm not going to just be like, hey, you're fine. And, I'm trying to help her, right? So I'm like, okay, let's get out of here. I see Brooke is with her, so it's fine. I start to just walk us out because I wasn't trying to, linger and cause another scene in that area. So I'm just like, I'm just going to throw my trash away. So people started to follow. But I'm like, what the fuck? Because you're like, I can't walk. I don't think I can walk, guys. That's what you were saying. And I was like, oh my fucking God, bro. What is happening? I was so scared. But she started walking. I was like, okay. So I'm starting to throw my shit away. Winston walks out with me, and we're standing there. I'm like, where the fuck is everybody? Like they didn't walk out with us for some reason, but I realized that they were just lingering at the table for a second, and then we watched them walk by the door that we exited at, and I was like, where are they going? Where? I was like panicking about it. And Winston was like, dude, they're just throwing their trash away. I was like, dude, where are they going? He's like, Winston's just like, they're throwing their trash away. I'm like, oh, okay, you're right, because they walked right out the door that we came out of. I was just overreacting because of this whole situation. So eventually everybody comes out, and I'm like, holy shit. And I look at Allie, I'm like, okay, she's walking fine. Okay, cool, it's fine. So we start walking. I'm walking ahead with Colin, and I'm like, still, on edge. So I'm like looking at Colin, I'm like, dude, this night is so weird. We need to go home. We need to get home. He's like, yeah, dude, this night's a little weird, man. I'm like, dude, no, I'm for real. And I look back because I'm like, where's everybody? And like our whole group is like spread out, and there's a bunch of other people. I see Allie way far back. I'm like, oh, can she actually not walk? But you're looking at me with the biggest eyes I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like, dude, it was crazy. It was like you're a Tim Burton character or something like that. She was just like looking at me like that. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? I thought she was mad at me. So I was like, oh my God, what the fuck did I do? Was it because I wasn't helping? And I was like, did I just cause like all this anxiety? And I was all worried about it, right? And I just kind of like rationalized it. I kind of ignored my thoughts on that. And I'm like, okay, I need help. So I'm like walking back with Colin, and then I hear Winston like, Allie, come on, you're fine. And so I'm like, okay, something might be happening. So I'm starting to walk back. And then I just like, I think I like looked away for a quick sec, and then I just hear Allie go, hey, Jack, like getting my attention. And I was like, oh, fuck, I did something wrong. What did I do? Because I thought you were gonna like, no, you didn't say, hey, Jack. You're like, hey, Jack, like trying to get my attention, like as if there was a problem. So I was like, oh no, what did I do? And there's like a pause because I start walking up to her, and I'm like, 10, 15 away from her. And then She's like, is something missing? I was like, what? In my head, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And she reaches for her bag, which she miraculously had. I've never seen you carry a bag before like that. She's carrying like a side, like, you know, like that handbag from Madagascar 2 that the old lady has. And in my head, I was like, that's what that is. No, Madagascar 2, Escape to Africa.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And so she reaches for her bag, and I'm in my head, I'm like, oh, weird. Why does she have that? And you know what she fucking does? Is she pulls out the goddamn gun. I'm gonna show it to you right now. She pulls
So is
out.
something missing, and then you whip out a gun.
She says, "Is something missing?" And she whips this motherfucker out, and I'm like, no fucking way. I start going crazy. I'm like.
He's going both.
I'm like pulling my hair out, you know, like I've got hands on my head. I'm like, jaw dropped, eyes wide open, and I'm like, dude, I was just like, no fucking way, and I was just like, holy shit, this night has been so weird.
But you could easily say Jack was going bozo mode at that moment.
You could easily say it, folks. And so I'm like freaking the fuck out, right? Because I'm like, how did she plan all of that? That was perfectly executed. Like, I had no idea she had that, and I never do.
You
But
wanna know the behind the scenes of it.
wait, I want to know at the end.
Okay.
I want to know at the end.
Yeah.
So this happens, and I'm like actually freaking out. I'm like actually like, holy shit, something's wrong. That's when I'm convinced that like I must be like, you know, just tweaking. You know, like you just have a bad time when you get some oxygen in your lungs, you know? So I'm like, bro, Colin, we need to go home. This night's crazy. And as we're heading home, I'm writing all this down on the walk. So I'm like, holy shit, I can't forget this. This is kind of like, that was kind of like the climax, you know? But so this is like kind of the come down. There's still some just really weird things that happened. And I'm like, I'm writing this all down. I'm like, oh, dude, that's a good first episode for a podcast, because me and Ian have been thinking of a podcast for a while, bouncing between a lot of ideas, and Ian had just gotten like inspired for it, so I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna write this down, this is a good story. So we get to the lobby of our building, and Colin just like grabs me by the shoulder, and he's like, dude, we just ate at Burger Confusion. What did they put in the food? I'm like, oh my fucking god. I know. And I'm like, what is happening? Holy shit. And we all collectively decided that, you know, nobody was going to talk about it until we could record it. I hope I didn't tease this too bad, because it was a weird story for us. It was more of like a you had to be there kind of thing. But yeah, we decided that nobody was going to talk about it.
You said you had a spiritual awakening, though.
Oh, yeah, I did. Okay.
That one
I
was
forgot to
about-
mention, I didn't write that down. That's why.
Oh.
I had okay, so I'm colorblind, by the way. Pretty damn colorblind. And I just had a connection. Like, it's the type where you mix up reds and greens. And I just had like a bit of a revelation with it, because I mix up a lot of colors, but I can't tell a lot of the time, because like I just see the world through a different filter, right? And it's just what I've known. It's what I've always seen. So like I can't see it as anything else. I can't just be like, oh, that's the wrong color, unless somebody else convinces me otherwise. But I'm realizing like, okay, I think I can see green, and I think I can see red. So I made two realizations about colorblindness that night. One was like, my initial thought was like, oh, red's my like favorite color, but I don't like green. Is it because I don't see green correctly, but I see red? So I was like, holy shit, are greens red to me? And I was stupid. I thought greens were red. I don't know if that's what it is. On the off chance that it is, I figured it out. That's cool, but it probably isn't. But I also just kind of like, what else did I realize about colorblindness? I realized something that was like a bit more logical. I forgot. If I think about it, then I can say it. But yeah, so we ended up back in this room. Just some weird shenanigans are happening. Winston's like bent over the bed, and Austin gets behind him and just starts like fucking him. Almost. He's literally, I'm watching this guy get pegged, and
So you're
he's
not a
like
virgin.
screaming.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Yeah, he was doing that. Winston, yeah.
I have a tendency to do that.
he has a tendency to do that. And so I'm watching like Winston get pegged, and I'm like, what? And this whole time I'm like thinking about my body, right? And I'm like, holy shit. I'm thinking about all like the anatomical movements of each part of my body, and I felt like my muscles were like loose. I don't know. It was weird. At another point, like I think you were eating like a slushie or like some ice cream or something like that, and you dropped like the spoon, like when you were finished, like about to throw it away, and then I was like gonna go pick it up. I was moving really
Oh,
slowly.
it was my flosser.
So I'm like,
I
yeah.
was flossing, yeah.
And
No, my spoon broke.
yes, thank you.
Spoon broke
Yes.
when I was eating ice cream.
It was
It was a what the
split in
fuck?
half, and I was like, how the fuck did that happen? That was just another
That
weird
was
thing.
weird.
And we and then Brooke dropped her floss, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go pick it up. And then somebody was like, wait, no, that's weird. And so I'm like sitting there looking at this floss, like pump faking it, and Brooke's like, what the fuck? So she just grabs it herself.
I think I was the one. I was like, no.
Yeah, I think so. And I was like, what the fuck? Why would she say no? But I realized, it's like a floss, And in my head, I was like, okay, I'll just grab the clean side. And still, that's why I kept like pump faking, because I just thought of so many ways I could grab it, but so many reasons why I shouldn't. And that's where I mixed it. Was that split in half? Or that the spoon was
Her
split in
spoon
half?
was
Okay.
split in half.
I think something else weird happened that night that wasn't as significant. It was another one of those like weird minor details. But okay, so
Thing.
I need to know like your master plan for this. Like, is there any way you could get like closer to the microphone for this? Like maybe sit up here or something like that? Yeah. I need to know the fucking master plan behind the evil villain
Hi
here.
guys, so it's really not that crazy. I
was to
think it
me.
was. Were we in here after the meeting? The big meeting. Okay.
Yes,
Maybe for a
okay,
split
yes.
second.
So we were in here for just a second, and we were all talking about going to get dinner, and I'm like, oh shit, this is the perfect time to go get the gun. And so I'm like, Brooke, I gotta go back to the dorm, and she gives me her keys because the door was locked. And I thought it was a little obvious, but I feel like no one
Not
had
enough.
an idea.
I'm so oblivious, man. Like, you're just taking advantage of me with that.
And
I had
think
no idea.
I think I found out you had a lot of oxygen. Oxygen in
I was
your lungs.
oxidated,
And so I got the gun, and this gun was broken in half.
Oh, it was the broken one?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
I had to mend it with Band-Aids. They're Panda Band-Aids. Anyways, so I went, and I didn't originally
Where is
have
that?
my bag. I don't know.
It got thrown away?
No.
On God.
On job.
Anyways, so I grab a bag. I'm like, oh, I gotta hide this gun. I put it in the bag, and I run back up. And the whole entire walk to the Burger Infusion, sitting down, getting the burgers, I was making sure that this gun was not broken, because it kept breaking because the Band-Aids weren't holding it together. And so I literally thought that someone saw me have my bag in my lap trying to like fix this gun without having him see it.
Well,
And
who would question that? I mean,
I don't
like
know.
it had
I
been
don't
broken.
know.
It's because it had been broken for like a week or two before that. So we had fixed and
just-
broken that thing, because what we do, it's literally like our fidget toy. Like, we just get one of
Well,
these
there was
and
hot glue
spin
on
it
it.
infinitely. Yeah,
There
there's
was-
hot glue.
it's
There's like tape on
really
it. Now Panda
messed
Band-Aids.
up. Yeah. Anyways, so, and I'm like thinking to myself as everything is happening in the cafeteria area, how and when I'm going to pull this gun out. Because so many things kept happening. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. And we walked outside, and the whole, like, I got hurt, like, couldn't walk, and then he got ahead of us. And then it was dark when I pulled it out. So it was, like, really, scary. And when I pulled it out, it was just so perfect.
It was
I
so
feel like
scary,
we needed
man.
a camera on that moment.
I wish you
So-
could have seen that from my perspective, because
Yeah.
you literally looked animated because of how big your eyes were.
Seeing the
Can
light
you
in his
replicate
eyes.
that?
No, I can't.
Yes, you can.
It was dark
You looked
out.
so crazy.
Thanks. Guess I'm crazy now. See, that's what I looked like.
I don't know.
No, just be like.
Their eyes were massive, and it
Yeah,
scared the
just be
shit
like-
out of me because I was like, oh my god, is this a bad dream?
Oh, it was so perfect. It was so perfect.
I literally I was trying to convince myself. I was like, okay, I'm fine. It's not a big deal. I thought I was in a dream.
No, and when I walked outside, I'm like, okay, this gun keeps breaking. What if I pull it out and it's just broken and it's not perfect, but it just was perfect. So.
It was insane. I was walking towards you, and you're like, is something missing? And I stopped. I stopped dead in my tracks. I'm like, what does that mean? What kind of cryptic language is that?
Yeah.
And she just slowly pulls it
Oh,
out
it was so perfect.
and points it at me.
Oh, it was so great.
Holy, I erupted. That was literally my mind hasn't been fucked with that bad in a while. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty fucking gullible and stupid sometimes, and
That's just a great, it's not like it's a prank. It's just a party trick. Like, I can pull it out
really
behind my
evil
back right
party
now.
trick. It's a really no stop.
Ah!
He's like triggered.
No, I see it. I see it. No, I'm taking this. This is mine now.
And there's two of them. So he has this one. Don't know where the other one is.
You've got to know where the other one is. There's no way you don't have that shit.
No, I don't know. I don't know where it is. Could have thrown it away that night, for all I care. No.
No,
It was nice. It was nice telling the story.
that's a lie. Was there anything else weird that happened that night?
All I really just remember is just, I do remember saying like, hey, you're fine. I do remember saying that.
I think you were just in denial of the crazy night.
Yeah,
ca-
he was
I'm
like
trying-
trying to rationalize everybody's feelings. And I was like, okay, that's a little weird, but I was like, okay, maybe it's gonna work. I don't know. I was letting it happen.
Voice of reason. But I was on the wrong side. Like, Allie was right. Like, it was getting weird. And
It was getting really weird.
I felt like a black hole was just gonna rip through the ceiling. and
Yeah,
just be
that was
like,
the vibe.
Yeah, and you just hear
That
black
was the
hole
vibe.
sun.
Yeah, that's why we needed to leave. That's why I got the feeling like we gotta go. We have to go.
Yeah.
Or else, like, I feel like something.
Do you have Ian? Do you have any like questions or like thoughts about that?
Solid night to me.
Sounds like it was a pretty cool night. I think we should wrap this up
I,
here.
I wasn't in any of that.
Yeah.
I was not there at all.
You were not there. I keep forgetting that.
The only he's doing homework.
Bozo.
But yeah, we like got back and we were talking about like, okay, nobody can talk about this. And Austin walked out of our room and he's like, "What are you guys talking about? I know you're talking about something. You gotta hide." And I was like, "No, we gotta keep it a secret. It's crazy. This night's crazy. That's all I can tell you." He's like, "Tell me." And we're like, "No." Did I disappoint you at all? I think I did.
I think it was you had to be there to like.
Yeah.
hear it.
I wish you guys could see that from my perspective because I was tripping that night. It was crazy. For no reason either. Like, for no reason. Like, it was just so many weird, spontaneous events happened to occur at that night.
Yeah.
It was so weird. What else happened? Did anything else weird happen that you guys can remember?
Did you call her Gibby? Is that who I'm thinking about?
Yeah.
Is that, okay.
Yeah,
So
she's-
I remember that we were talking about her before she came.
No. Oh yeah,
Oh
that's
my
one thing she
God!
said. That's what started to be like,
Oh,
holy
no,
shit,
yeah.
something weird's happening
She
because
remembers.
yeah, like after the whole flipping off situation was done, I was like, no, don't worry, because that's when you started saying we need to go. I'm like, don't worry, I know her.
But, like,
You're like, something's wrong.
We were literally I was talking about her.
Really?
Saying like, oh, I haven't seen her in like forever. Like, what happened to her? And boom, she's there.
I thought like, okay, no way you guys know each other, right? So once you were like, no, I know her too. We need to leave. I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know how you even thought of
Gosh,
that.
it was creepy.
You're a menace to society.
I have stuff to add too.
Add it.
Like, well, okay, so it's like a couple different things, but so whenever all of that was happening, when Ali said, "Oh, Gibby, blah blah blah," and then she appeared, I was talking about how I always see my friend Sarah here, and I feel like I haven't run into her in a while here at the Union because she lives on South Campus, and as we were walking out after throwing out our trash, that's why we were taking so long. Her and her friend walk into the Union after we were just talking about them, and so I was kind of tripping because I was like, Sarah, what is going on? Like, I just was talking about you. And then yeah, after all of the crazy things happened, I was feeling super duper anxious, and with my OCD disorder, I was like scratching my arm a ton, and that's not really anything that I have done recently, and it was just like very odd of me to do that compared to the other things I do. And then I wasn't feeling hungry because I was so on edge. And as I was eating the burger, one of my pickles dropped in Jack's.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It was just so random.
That was a little good like tension relief
And I
because
felt so bad.
yeah, I noticed all that shit that you just mentioned. I noticed you were scratching your arm. I've seen
Yeah.
that before. I noticed you weren't eating your food, and I was like, okay, something's definitely wrong. That was like
Yeah.
more and more things were just making this so weird, and then the fucking pickle just dropped. Did it like roll on your arm?
Yeah, it like rolled off my hand into your.
Yeah, I had like a cup of water I was like, halfway done with, and this pickle drops out of her burger, rolls down her forearm just right into my cup. And that kind of released the tension a little bit, thankfully. Like she started like cracking up at like as soon as it happened. Just like kind of saying sorry through laughs, but like I was like, dude, I don't even care. And I was like, what just happened?
Oh,
It was
I
just
have
so
pickle juice.
random. I was just, how did that even manage to
Yeah.
roll down my arm into the cup?
Like I said, like that night was just full of such weird coincidences, man.
I
Oh,
remember detailed.
you remember
Where-
detail?
Like when the thud happened, I remember just cautiously as a joke, I was like, Rebozo? Like, and then Jack, you were like, dude. And Jack, you were like, dude, Rebozo. And we just did a, see, dap up Game on Fire. But like, but I just remember that happening, and then I don't know, man, that night was weird. Like,
And it was like a full moon,
it
too.
was a Twilight
or
Zone
something,
episode.
yeah.
It's like we were briefly in the Twilight Zone.
And all of the group was there on the Jack in the Box night, too.
Oh
Facing
yeah.
Dallas and
Okay,
Austin.
so I'll provide some context.
That's another episode.
Yeah, that's another episode, but basically the Jack in the Box night. We'll talk about maybe in the next episode if we want to. But
But I feel like for that one, it's me, Austin, Colin, and Winston who should be the ones talking because you two were like asleep for the whole time.
yeah, I was asleep for a while.
Oh,
I feel like I can remember
No,
it
I
pretty
remember
well.
I remember
Dude, we
a
were there
lot.
for
I stole the
hours.
Jack
We
in
were there
the
for like a
Box
couple
night.
hours.
Yeah.
And I
And
remember
we
It
could
was like
talk
3
about
hours.
The Wawa concert.
I didn't get to bed.
That
till
was
like
weird.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about
That
that
was
one. I'm
weird.
really excited to talk about that.
We should have
That'll
done
be a
that
me. Yeah,
episode.
that'll probably be
This
like a
is the
mean
first
episode.
I
Oh
want to
my
talk about
God.
when I thought you were the devil.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
What?
that's gonna be a me and you thing. Okay, so let's put that on the list. I was the devil. We went to a Wawa concert. Babies performed. And the Jack in the Box night. That was Halloween weekend, and everything else, or the Wawa was after that,
Yeah.
and the whole devil thing. When was that? That was like a month or two ago. Also, quarantine episode. We could talk about that a little bit.
And may I add, like, if I could, with your permission, of course. be
Yes,
like
sir.
A guest, kind of like, to where I could provide some context on what was happening from my perspective during your hiatus.
Okay, I mean, everybody's welcome to be in the room when we're recording. But yeah, does anybody else have anything else to add to the story at all from that night?
Not that I can think of.
Okay,
Sounds very funny.
All we just said
Thank
was-
you.
Really funny.
all we just
his
said
first
is-
words.
Oh, wait, I already said it.
Yeah, you did say Rip Bozo a
No,
couple
not
times.
proposal, I said, yeah, bitch.
Yeah, bitch, baby.
Super bored.
So yeah, we're gonna bitch out of there. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Out of Pocket or Jeans. What are we calling this again?
James out of pocket.
Jeans Out of Pockets. I'm your host Jack here with my co-host Ian Broussard,
That's Ian, not me.
Dragon Slayer, and we're signing out. Thank you so much for tuning in.